they are.
I call the Minister for Investment and Trade.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. While the recent conflict between Israelis and Palestinians can be expected to prompt emotive responses, there is no place for anti-Semitism. Yet there is a palpable level of concern regarding rising anti-Semitic incidents across Australia. This is true within the community I represent in Goldstein. Thankfully, Australia has not seen the same degree of activity that is sweeping Europe, where there have been riots outside of synagogues, chants of "Gas the Jews," and the smashing of windows in Jewish shops and restaurants, stirring memories of pre-war Europe. There are, however, ominous signs in Australia, and vigilance is very much required. In recent weeks, some highly publicised events. We saw in Sydney young Jewish students were subjected to vile threats and abuse when 6 young men boarded a bus transporting a group of Jewish students aged 5 to 12 years old, shouting "Heil Hitler" and "Kill the Jews," while threatening the young students with violence. There was an attack on a rabbi and his assistant in Perth, a spike in anti-Semitic graffiti. So much of it can be seen around Melbourne, which wasn't there in recent times. My colleague, the Education Minister, has written of anti-Semitic incidents at some of our leading universities, including Monash, where Jewish students have been targeted physically and verbally. And also there's been what is described as a torrent of anti-Israel abuse across the realm of social media. Professor Mark Baker, Director of the Jewish Centre at Melbourne's Monash University, said, and I quote, "There's been a seismic shift," unquote. Another Melbourne academic, Danny Ben Moss, said, "The collective well-being of Australian Jewry has been adversely affected. Jews are neither as free nor as safe as they have been prior to this war." Halali Kimchi, the editor of the Israeli newspaper Eaton, has been living here for 19 years, but admits there's been a shift, and I quote, "This is the first time that I actually feel that my identity is a problem," she said. "Something new has happened since the Gaza war," Kimchi added. "It's never been like that. The anti-Semitism in Australia is much more than in the past. The kids are afraid. That's the bottom line," she said. "I know the community here is more alerted." Madam Deputy Speaker, much has also been written regarding the usually biased and negative media slant taken against Israel in much of the global media reporting, including some key media outlets in Australia. In times of international conflict, our community needs leaders and institutions who prompt tolerance rather than inflame base prejudices.
Minister's time has expired.